For problem 6, it says that there's a line and that line has an equation of y equals 5/3 x plus 4. And then for part A, they want us to write an equation that's perpendicular to that line. So perpendicular to this one. And we want our new equation to go through this point right here. So first I want to focus on the perpendicular, okay? So if you want a line to be perpendicular, then what you need to do is you need to find the slope and you need to make two changes to it. So in problem number 6, the slope is 5/3. And the two changes you have to make to get a perpendicular slope, number 1, you have to switch the sign. So switch sign. And then the second thing you have to change about a slope to get it perpendicular is you need to flip the fraction. Okay? So in our original line, the slope was 5/3, okay? So if we wanted to take 5/3 and make those two changes, then we would first have to switch the sign. So this one right here is positive. So if we switched the sign, we'd have to give it a negative sign. Okay, so we've switched the sign. This one's positive, our new one will be negative. And then we have to flip the fraction. So instead of having the 5 on the top, we'll put the 5 on the bottom. And instead of putting the 3 on the bottom, we'll put the 3 on the top. So 3/5. So if our original equation had a slope of 5/3, and if we want it to be perpendicular, our new slope will have to be negative 3/5, okay? And so we want to write this equation, and they want it to go through this point. So now we have our new slope, and we have a new point. So we're going to have to use, it doesn't say how to write the equation, so we can use either one of these formulas. And this formula you use if you have the slope in the y-intercept. And this formula you use if you have the slope and a random point. And here we have the slope and a random point. So we're going to use this formula. So let's do it. So our 6 will be our x1 value, and our -10 will be our y1 value. And now we can just plug all those in here. So y minus, okay, now it says to write our y1 value, that's -10, equals, okay, so next we write our slope, which is -3/5, and then parentheses, x minus sign, and then finally our x1 value, which is 6. Okay, is there anything here that we should clean up to make look nicer? I think so. We've got two negatives right in a row here, and whenever that happens, you can cross them both out and turn it into a plus. So I think our final answer would look much nicer if we wrote y plus 10 equals -3/5, parentheses, x minus 6. And there we go. For part B, they want us to do the same thing. In fact, they even gave us the same point, but this time they want it to be parallel to this original one, okay? So if two lines are parallel, then that means their slopes are exactly the same. So whenever something is parallel, it has the same slope. So in this one, it's going to be even simpler. All we have to do is go back and find our original slope, and it's going to be exactly the same. So our new slope will be 5/3. And just like in part A, we have a slope and a random point. So again, we're going to use the formula that gives us the slope and a random point. So again, we're going to use this one, and here we go. So it's the same point, so it's going to be exactly the same as this one. So y plus 10 equals, except this slope is the one we used for perpendicular. But if we want it to be parallel, we just use the same slope as the original. So this time we're going to put the 5/3 here. All right, x minus 6 from there. All right, so this one has a perpendicular slope, and this one has a parallel slope. It's the only difference you need to make. Well done.